Bruchem Aboim, Shem Egen Shir Torah, Moses Boston. I'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's shir, all the men here in the main shul, all the Nashim upstairs and downstairs, and everyone listening in on the phone, Kalaloshan, telephone system, and tuning into the live broadcast. Welcome aboard to everyone. I'd like to remind the Olam Egen Shir Torah's annual dinner is coming up in just a couple short weeks on August 15th. It's a perfect time to show you Hakaras HaTov to the Rabbanim whose shiurim you've enjoyed at the Egen Shir Torah and help have a chelik and abatzas Torah of Egen Shir Torah throughout the year worldwide. Putting an ad in the journal, call Egen Shir Torah at 718-851-8651 or email tapecenter@yeshivanet.com for this great schus. I'd like to give a big ashakach to Moshe Catalyst for exclusively sponsoring tonight's shir to the Ili Nishmas, Yisha Shendel Beila Bashav Avram Osher Ela Sholem Yotzai Yud Chesov Tenishmos Tzura B'Tzora Chaim. Tonight we have the cover to have with us one of the Choshev Rosh Yeshiva, Rabbi Yaakov Ben Shlita Yeshiva Dachei Torah Far Rockaway, to speak to us on the important topic of Chinuch with heart. This is my cover to call him the Yeshiva Shlita for tonight's Rosh.
I think you have it wrong. It's my cover to be here, really. It's very, very special. Last year I missed. Rabbi Ball didn't let me forget about it. But I want to say that he's not always here, Rabbi Ball. The fact that he's here is a very big cover. I don't know if there's anybody today that has this chusim, but this one person has. The amount of hours and hours and hours of Torah being given out because of one individual. I don't want to change my topic, but one person could turn over a world. One person could turn over an entire world. Ein mensch got an idea. Hundreds and hundreds of shurim every year. Each year come, let's say, scores of people. I understand there's 2 floors of ladies. Kanahara, it's a very, very special thing. And this Garnish Pashat. Ein mensch. You know what? I'll change my drasha for a minute. What one person could do. Start with a story. He needs a refuah shleima. Herschel Weber, the founder of Hatzalah, needs a refuah shleima. He's very sick. I don't have his name with me today, but it's like Tzvi Ben, no, who knows the name? All right, very special person. How did Hatzalah start? Everybody say? Anybody know Hatzalah started? Yeah, go ahead.
Rabbi Weber saw somebody collapse in the shul.
Yeah, correct.
He didn't know what to do. He called the ambulance, took it out until they came. He told them to go.
Correct. Herschel Weber was standing in front of the Polish Shtibel next to Bedford Avenue in Williamsburg, and very good. And a man collapsed. And Rahman al-Islam, they waited close to an hour for an ambulance to come. He never came, and the person died. And Herschel Weber, this big, Chassidish Yidel, and he says, this can't be anymore. Can't be. He lived in Williamsburg. I remember I lived in Williamsburg then also. He says, it can't be. So I'll skip over the piece of how Williamsburg started Hatzalah, then Crown Heights is right after, East Side, Borough Park, and then came Flatbush where I lived. Rabbi Herschel Weber used to come, his shver, Mr. Pollock, he used to come every Mincha Gedolah to daven in Yeshiva. There weren't many minyanim for Mincha Gedolah. Rabbi Herschel Weber would come, drive his shver there, we'd daven Mincha Yeshiva 205, and Herschel Weber's guys in the back started telling him, Josh Silverman used to come around Yeshua, Zechron Levracha, you're not selling Flatbush. He said, fine, get me 4 volunteers. It wasn't like today where there's a line around the block to become volunteers. Shmuel Birnbaum, who was Torah, nothing but Torah. He had only one word, his entire vocabulary, that was Torah. He told us, 4 young light, that we should start Hatzalah. Reb Zevi Trenk, who lives here, Shmuel Bilstein, used to be very many years in Torah Tvima. Reb David Pittman, who's still a member of Hatzalah. He runs the Bishakov on 18th Avenue, and myself. He says, what do we do? He says, I want to show how Hatzalah started. What do we do? He says, tell me a room, we'll meet, I'll tell you what you have to do. So we gave him a room in Mir Yeshiva, room 35, Reb Chaim Przhansky's classroom, and the 4 of us came in there, we were shaking in our boots. I knew medicine a little bit, because I had a cheshik for medicine a little bit, but who knew medicine? He walks into a 5 tzabrach, and it's a conductor oxygen tanks. And he puts them down on the desk in that classroom. And he gives us each a first American Cross first aid book. Remember those books? He kept them in the bathroom. American Cross first aid book. And he says, read this book. Then he hands us a bag of 1,000 stickers, 387-1750, before the area codes. Go around to all the front people in town and give them a sticker. If they have a problem, they should call you. Us, what do we know? Read the book. We should read the book. We're going to be Hatzalah members. This is my shahoy. I'm not. He says, yeah. He says, Herschel, help us out. I knew Herschel well. It says, and there's actually tank. He says, let's say you come into a guy's house and he has chest pains. He says, here's your tank. The tank was a used tank. You had to have a special key to turn on the tank. It wasn't like a regular, turning it on. And he says, here's the key. He didn't know himself how to put it on the thing. You have to put it on, fit it on exactly, turn it on, and give the guy oxygen. And then send him to the hospital. Work on an arrangement with a local ambulance corps. Damas was Midwood Volunteer Ambulance. Not volunteer, Midwood Ambulance Company. We worked out a deal with them. We said, what if we go into a guy's house and he has a broken ankle? What do we do? He says, give him oxygen. What if the guy has a splitting headache? Give him oxygen. It doesn't hurt. The tank didn't come in a box. We had what did we have? I was learning Kol in Mir Yeshiva. In July, I think I had a 1961 Valiant. Whatever it was, and it bounced around in the back of our cars. We didn't sleep. Once we gave out the stickers, that's who we didn't sleep. Flatbush is today the largest part of Atzola throughout the country. Flatbush started the whole walkie-talkie system. There's a big white apartment house next to the cemetery. You say the story, this guy jumped in once, no? Whatever, because he couldn't sell the apartments because it's next to the cemetery. All kinds of stories. Don't believe any of them. But the kids, they put up a reception thing up there. Hatzolah is by far the largest volunteer ambulance company in the entire world. For us, well, Ein Kleine Yidel, Herschel Weber says, this can't be. A Yid will starve on our hands? It just cannot be. One Yid, I'm embarrassing very enough, Rabbi Paul, but one Jew, thank you, one Jew should go ahead. It's a wonderful thing. Chinuch with heart. We have to have chinuch with heart, Rabbi say. We have to realize that Torah is there for every single child in the world. We have a program in yeshiva. I'm not here to darshan about the yeshiva, but if you want to give me a check for the yeshiva, it's fine. I'm not here to darshan for the yeshiva. I want to take a thing. We have a program. Why can't this be in every yeshiva in America? There are many kids in the public school system throughout New York. Those who can't fit into, I don't want to say the names of the organizations, the schools. So we have a program that on Sunday, these kids come to our yeshiva. They're off for 2 weeks from Kratz after New Year's. They come, they make friends. They live in the neighborhood, and they come every. They're for Down's children, which is a special program. But you have kids around public school. Just call them in. They can learn some Torah, Rabbi say. What about the regular kid? Let's talk about Moshe Rabbeinu, Rabbi say. Got to be very careful. He took a Moshe Rabbeinu, the greatest Jew that ever lived. Frekte Tanchuma Akasha, the Medrash Tanchuma. In the beginning of the parashas we're learning now, Eila Hadvarim. These are the words that Shedib Moshe Kol Yisrael Be'Vayadim Amidbar Aravam El Ben Param Ben Taifa V'Lav Machatzers V'Dizav. Rashi says Moshe Rabbeinu only implies it, but it's all the places where Klal Yisrael sinned. He says Taifa and Lavan, says Rashi, we don't have such a place in the Torah, Taifa and Lavan. So Taifa and Lavan, Rashi says, means Kshataflu ala Lavan, which is the mun. When they complained about the mun, Taifa of Lavan, the mun was white, because God loved as they state. So they complained about it, and the whole thing. So it's a Musa Shamus. The whole Devarim is a Musa Shamus. Devarim, Paschanan, Ekev, throughout. And then we come later parshas around the Yom Neroim. You have over there Nitzavim, Vayelech, Hazinu, full Musa. Frekta Tanchum was meant Eilad. Very few words. Eilad. These are the words. Just say this. It's Eilad Devarim. Tanchum is a very ridiculous thing. Tanchum says. Moshe Rabbeinu had a vikuach with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Klap Yishmaya. For 7 days, HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes to the snare and says, Moshe Rabbeinu, I want you to take Klal Yisrael out of Mitzrayim. Me anaychi ke'elech al parei. Kriyatzi is b'nei Yisrael. Not going through the whole story now. 7 days of vikuach, 12, Shul Shem Hashem, 7 days. Until at the end of Yichar Av Hashem Moshe, okay, you're not going, you'll go, Aaron Achicha will speak for you. What do Moshe Rabbeinu say? Ki kvad peh anochi, I can't speak. Chazal say because of the Ma'aseh with the cold when he was a child with Paroi, he couldn't speak. Ki kvad peh anochi, he had a hard time speaking. He told Moshe Rabbeinu, I'm afraid to talk like that, but okay, do. The pasuk says it. What were the words he started with? Lo ish dvarim anochi. I'm not a man of dvarim. That's not me. At the end of his life now, Sokta Tahuma, Eila dvarim. You're the one that says Lo ish dvarim anochi. This is not Shetel Adrush. Tanchuma says, Eila Dvarim, you said Lo Yish Dvarim Anaychi, oh really? Eila Dvarim, the greatest shmuz ever in the history of Klal Yisrael, Moshe Rabbeinu. Because anybody could become something like it. Now, Moshe Rabbeinu, yeah. Famous word of Yaakov Kamenetsky, the famous word, that the baby Moshe Rabbeinu didn't want to nurse for a mitzvah lady. Why is it Rashi wasn't Chumash Shemais? Because Pesha Osla Darim Ashchina. The mouth is going to speak with the Shekhinah, can't nurse from a Goyish lady. In fact, Yaakov Kamenetsky, right? From Yaakov Kamenetsky, that's Moshe Rabbeinu maybe. Moshe Rabbeinu only. Doesn't mean me and you. It means me and you. Elamai Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky Chasayach Devracha has made the following, that every single child can become Moshe Rabbeinu. Or else the Shulchan Aruch paskins the halacha that one should not nurse from a goyish woman because the raya is from Moshe Rabbeinu. In fact, Rabbi Yaakov didn't raya from Moshe Rabbeinu, a raya. He was born, the whole place lit up in light, and he was saved 6 months. The whole story. No, it's Rabbi Yaakov. It's a raya. The Shulchan Aruch paskins over here have an art that from the raya that you shouldn't nurse from a goyish lady is from Moshe Rabbeinu. That means, he says, Dr. Yaakov Kamenetsky, means that every single child could one day become another Moshe Rabbeinu. We have to believe it 100%. Every child can make it. I want to read to you at Marsha. Rabbi say, those who are doing that Fyaimi, not long ago, Sanhedrin, I want to read to you Marsha. I read to the side. I don't like to read too long from the side because, but you got to hear this Marsha, Rabbi say. Ma'aridik Marsha. The Gemara inside the Kalafim of Beis in Sanhedrin, Perik Chelik. So the Gemara speaks about the following: Kol HaMeinei. The Gemara says, "Kol HaMeinei halacha mipi Talmid." The very small letters, you get older, the hardest. Kol HaMeinei halacha mipi Talmid. Kilu Geizlai minachlas avaisav. Whoever holds back a halacha from a Talmid, as if he's robbing him from his rightful inheritance of Yerusha from his fathers. That means you have to learn what a Talmud. You have to learn. You hold back halacha. What does that mean? Maybe threw the kid out. I don't know. What does it mean? I mean, halacha Talmud. Look to my show. What's a layman? Shane layman in my Talmud Rabbi Preda. He doesn't learn with Talmud like Rabbi Preda. Who was Rabbi Preda? Shayolamadim Talmidai Dalad Meis Pamim. He learned with his Talmud 400 times. Achay Seshkurle the parental. He knew it klar. Famous Gemara. And one day he was fatracht. Rabbi Preda was not there completely in his mind. And the kid said, "I don't know it because you weren't really here." He lit another 400 times. So to my show, if you don't learn with the Talmud even 800 times like I prayed, you're called out Menei Allah and Talmud. You versteht us? Try repeating something to a kid 10 times. By the 10th time, you're climbing the walls. If you don't do like I prayed, to my show, he doesn't. He says, "You're Menei Allah and Talmud." I'm going to go weiter. If he Shaimer Harav, the Rebbe says, "Shena Talmud Hagen V'roy. This kid can't make it. He's a dummy. Why should I teach him?" That's what my show says. Why should I teach him? You can't teach this kid. It doesn't go. Harry Geizlei Menachos Avaisav Shatari Merashal Chol Yisrael Misheshes Imebrachis Vatzalim Lefi Briyusam Betivam Muchanen Kol Yisrael Lul Mei Torah. It says right Vatzalim more Shemesh Talmud Ein Lei Peh. He can't talk. He can't read. He can't say words. Mani Malam Mechina. Why should I let him with him for nothing? Chinuch with heart means, Rabbi say, it means making sure that you give your heart to every single child. And when you're a parent and you have 10 children in Kanahara, and one of them is not making it, and you have to pour in the sham into him. You have to. That's our job. If not, you're a Menei Allah Mipi Talmud. Moshe Rabbeinu, Eila Dvarim. Lo yesh Dvarim Anechi. Every single child, Misheshes Yemei Breish, says the Marsha, is Mesugel Kach to become a Givaldige Talmud. Got to be geduldig. By the Maisa Bahaloischa when they had the Maisa with the Slav, kind of became the whole parsha of Vayilenu Klal Yisrael. It's complaining. By the Maisa over there, Moshe Rabbeinu says, "Where am I going to find meat?" Because he said, "I can't give you meat." You know, first of all, they had all the sheep with them. They had everything. When they got Reuven, Pchalakasha, they had. So where are you going to find meat? So you know what says my Sakash Baruch to you? I'll give you Shivim Zekanim. I'll give you 70 Zekanim, and they'll take care of you. So the Ramban says in different words, he says, these Zekanim were butchers, they were katzavim. He says, I don't have meat. Okay, says, I'll give you 70 Zekanim, we'll work with them. Who are they, by the way? The ones who were shayt from Mitzrayim, the ones who absorbed the blows that Mitzrayim gave the Eden, they took it. They became the Zekanim of Klal Yisrael. They were chosen. Again, you see all the time, these are the Zekanim of Klal Yisrael. So these Zekanim, I'll give you. So are they going to supply the meats for Ramban? No, it's not the job of Zekanim. The job of Zekanim will be, they're down. The Eden are down. They're not in good spirits. The word he uses, I didn't bring the Ramban up with me, he says, L'shachech oisam, to calm them down. The Hamas HaMelech Shachacha. Achashverosh calm down. Shachacha, you have it a few times in different places. The 70s Kenim, it's our job as Kenim. We have to have geduld for the children. You gotta work with them. It's geht nicht. It's geht nicht. The kids could do it. I can tell you the story. We have a Rabbi in yeshiva named Rabbi Langer. I want to tell you a story. It's a true story. I can't make it up. I would never dream of to make it up. Rabbi Langer is a Welt Redner. He's a world-class speaker, speaks all over. He's a Rabbi now, 9th grade Rabbi now yeshiva. He taught a little bit the more difficult kids. A kid came into his class, the second or third year in Masifta, around 20 years ago. Kid came into his class. The kid sat on the windowsill, under the table, under the desk, on the lights. He was all over but in his seat. And he couldn't get him to sit down and focus and to learn. One day he saw the kid playing yo-yo. There used to be, when I was a kid growing up, there were seasons. Today it was one big season called the computer. But there used to be seasons, yo-yos, kugelach they play still today, whatever he used to play. I'm talking about he used to play baseball cards also. Whatever he used to play with different seasons he used to play, okay. Yo-yo was a season. There came a string, doesn't know yo-yo. You know, up and down, he could twirl it. Rabbi Langer observes this kid that he's like an expert yo-yo player. The next day he comes into class. He puts down on his desk a box of yo-yos. He says, Chevra, today, don't open your Gemaras. Don't open your Gemaras. I'm telling you, Ma'aseh Shehoya. Don't open your Gemaras. Today we're learning how to play yo-yo. Kicking money on Meshuggah, Rebbe, you understand? He calls up this bacha. We'll call him Chaim. Chaim, here's a yo-yo. Show them what you can do with a yo-yo. He suddenly opened up. He's a kid that was introverted completely. And of course, within an hour, the whole class is throwing around their yo-yos. They're playing yo-yos, etc., etc., etc. There's a Rosh Chabura today in Lakewood, this younger man. He's a Rosh, I'm not making it up, he's a Rosh Chabura in Lakewood. 70, 80 guys come to hear his Chaburas. He's a Mitsuya Nifler. Ashari Eli in the Mir said about him, he was the only bacha that ever did so well on his, he learned the Ksubas, I think, 16 times, and took Rabbi Eli's Bechina, which he doesn't even allow the bacham to take. He says he never saw such a mark. This is a bacha that when he came in the 9th grade, he knew one thing, how to play with a yo-yo. It means that every single child, they make us crazy, the kids. They make us crazy. I once said over here, I went through all my notes from the Oshirim that I gave in the past. I don't want to say this again, but I got to say it over to you. Eila Advarim, that parsha, yeah? Pasuk Tes. I cannot carry you anymore. I can't. Hashem l'kei v'seichem, hir bo'eschem. I can't handle you. Moshe is saying, Musa, to Klal Yisrael, Hashem has multiplied you. You're like thousands, like the stars of the heavens. I can't do it. Hashem l'keichem, Yosef aleichem kechem elef pam. He should multiply you by another 1,000 times over. Let's say there were 600,000 now, they should be 60 million. Oh, hold on, Moshe. You just finished saying, there are so many of you. And the third pasuk, which is not pasuk Yud Aleph, is what? There should be many, many more like you. Like, make up your mind, you know what I mean? Yud Beis. Eichas olavadi, tarachachem u'ma'asachem, berivchem. Tes Yud Aleph and Yud Beis. That's pshat. I can't handle you. There's so many of you. There should be many more like you. You're impossible. Nigan of Eicha. We stop a pasuk earlier. Sheni was supposed to be at where Eicha begins. We stopped pasuk earlier because we shouldn't start with a sorrowful, mournful nigun. What's pshat? I think the pshat is Pashat Rabbi says. Egin a Torah, but I think it's Pashat. I think it's Pashat the pshat. You know what the answer is, I think? Atata and Mama. Moshe was our father and mother. What does the mother say? You're impossible. What are you doing? You're dirtying up my whole dining room. What are you doing? You're walking in with those dirty, with your shoes so muddy. What are you doing? She was, I love you. My tire is Yisrael. I love you. I wish I had more kids like you. And a few minutes later, right, a pot falls off the stove. What'd you do? You know what? I love you. Kids could test you, yeah. They could test you. They can make you sugar, kids. Some days, just when you don't need it, they can make you mamish. The answer is a mama. When it comes to Torah, don't ever give up on a child. Don't ever give up on a child. Open your hearts and say, I'm going to learn with that kid. I want to tell you a story of Shmuel Bermel. My Shahaya. It's an unbelievable story, really. Writing Agadah now for Art Scroll. The Chinuch Agadah. So I'm digging out some old Zach, and I found this. It's an unbelievable story, really. Shmuel Bermel. I said to you before, it was Torah, and more Torah. We found out, I'm talking about 3 other chashvim in the light, myself, the 4th one, I wasn't chashav, but 4 of us, we found out there's a pizza shop around the corner from Mir Yeshiva. Remember the pizza shop around the corner from Mir Yeshiva? The pizza shop over there. And on the top floor of the pizza shop, there was a mamish that used to gamble over there. It goes back when I was I was a younger man in Yeshiva. Go back over 40 years ago. So they were gambling, and also Nashim were there, and it was very, very bad matzav, a very, very horrific matzav. It was not a good situation. And one bacher befrat from our base Medvish became a Meshuggah gambler, was borrowing money from other people. You know what a gambler is? A gambler means he's giving away his life. His wife will leave him, and his kids will leave him. He'll lose everything, a gambler, because he loses. He's borrowing money from everybody. And we went to the Rosh Yeshiva of Shmuel. We said, Rabbi, this guy can't stay here. He just borrowed yesterday $10,000. Somebody gave him a Baba Maisa story. 45 years ago, 40 years ago, $10,000. Today, a lot of money. And then it certainly was a lot of money. We can't have him in yeshiva. Shul Bremer was the calmest, nicest, sweetest person. I never saw him get angry, ever. Never got upset, till that time. He takes his finger. I was zeicher to be the one. He puts it right in my chest. You already fasted 40 Tanasim. We were not used to Shul Bremer. The Rebbe was never like this. Rashab, he never was like this. He fasted 40 Tanasim. This is a lesson to me. I hold it happened to me because, Baruch Hashem, I work a little bit in the yeshiva. Did you fast 40 Tanasim? So he said, no. Before you come to me about sending out a bacha from yeshiva, you fast 40 Tanasim. Then come talk to me. And he turned around and he walked away. We thought it's like a pashta case. Here's a guy. He took the bacha under his wings. The bacha is today a choshev marbitz Torah in Lakewood, a Mesivta Rebbe. Shmuel was heart bigger than everybody's. As our hearts given. I want to tell you a story. I told over this story at the dinner. They have a dinner every year of the yeshiva. Shmuel was nifta about 10 and a half years ago. At the dinner, which was right, he was nifta Chav Ches Teves. Our dinner was mamish about a few weeks after that. So I chose that story to describe the effect it had on me. I work in the yeshiva, so the effect that it had on me, this story. Okay. The story. About 4 months later, Rabbi Trenk, the Manar, Rabbi Zevi Trenk, Stark, who lives here in Flatbush, he calls up one of the parents and says, I want to tell you, we call it nachas calls. It's nice, once in a while, we try to do it often. Call parents, give them nachas. Call grandparents, give them nachas. Your son, the last 3-4 months, has become a superstar. A superstar. She says, you know why, she says? The mother says, I went to the dinner. Where Bender said, the story of Shul Berman. You know where I was? My son was impossible. He was going mamish, honestly, off the derech. I said, if Shul Berman says throwing out a kid, it's 40 Tanaisim. How about if it's your own kid that's in trouble? I immediately started fasting 40 Tanaisim. Once I had a problem with a plane. I was coming back from Eretz Yisrael on the 40 Tanaisim. I had to fast the extra 7 hours. I didn't care. I fasted 40 Tanaisim for my son. That's the turnaround you're seeing. Shul Breman's heart has an effect on a boy who's today, Gar, find a balabas today. Gar, find a balabas. It means opening up your hearts and saying, I'm going to teach my kid, I'm going to learn my kid, or your Talmud, whatever it's going to be, I'm going to work with him. Rabbi Yasha wrote down certain things. Rabbi Yasha used to say, Miyamai le'reisi Talmud, there's evident in Hebrew and Sefer. Shenase Tamachacham, Ibn Shirabai Hoye Tamachacham. My whole life, I never saw a Talmud become a Tamachacham because his Rebbe was a Tamachacham. I saw Shenase Tamachacham, Ibn Shirabai. In other words, in Hebrew, cared about him. He became a Chacham because his Rebbe cared about him. When a Rebbe, I goes for a parent, Rabbi say, we care about a child, they'll have atzlacha. Kids know it right away. When you give up on a kid, a boy once said to me, you got to hear this, a boy once said to me, when you give shir, Rebbe, he said it to me, I felt so bad. I give a shir for the strongest guys in yeshiva, twice a week in the morning. The kid said, when you ask a bam bekasha, I watch your eyeballs, Rebbe. You never look at me. You look at certain kids to see their reaction. He's like blitz kep. He chapped me. He caught me. That when I'm giving the shir, you look at the guys to see, you know which guys, does that the chaver in the class? You never look at me. I had to pull out the knife. I hurt this kid. It's so easy to hurt them. He's a boy that harav is, he's a veltz masmid. He harav is in learning, but he doesn't have the blitz cup. He's not mechadish. Doesn't matter. Your kid can become the biggest mechadish, the biggest masmid. He can become anything you want. It means us believing in every single child. If you believe in every child, I want to tell you a murder thing. It says in Parshas Bay. I think I'm working on Agada. It says in Parshas Bay, three of the banim are listed in Parshas Bay. The only one that's not listed of the banim is the Chacham. Chacham is not there. It says in Parshas Bo at the end before Shishi, Perek Yud Beis, Pasuk Chavav. What's this work all about? Who says that pasuk, Rabbi? So you all know who says the pasuk. The Rashi says this pasuk. V'amartem, you should tell them that Pesach hu Hashem, asher pasach al bati avesenu abati v'nei Yisrael b'Mitzrayim, b'nok pa'is Mitzrayim v'asbatenu hitzil v'yikar da'am v'yishtachavu. The nation bowed down. So Rashi. V'yikar da'am v'yishtachavu al psura sagula. The psura of the gula from Mitzrayim, it didn't happen yet. It happens after Shishi. Or bias ha'aretz, you're going into Eretz Yisrael. Psuras habanim shiyulhem, and the children that you're going to have. You're going to have children. They had children in Mitzrayim also, you guess Kakasha, right? Whatever, they're going to have children. You know which child they were just told about? The Ben Russia. Thank you, Hashem, for the Ben Russia. Now, this may be drush a little bit, but it's the punkt. Vayikto ishtachvu after the Ben Russia. What does that mean? He could be a tzaddik. He said, no, it's up to you. It's up to you. Got to work with them. My Rabbi Yaakov used to say, I once thought of this word myself. When I heard him say it, I can say it over now. So, well, certain words you can't say. You can't say certain things you can't say. The Rebbe Yisrael said the following. I was in Tarvidas before I left to go. B'kitza, Vayav Yitzchak es Esav, Kitzayid b'fiv. So Rashi two pshatim. The drush, everyone knows the drush part. The drush part is he fooled him with questions about salt, how you give meiser on salt, so on and so forth. But the Rashi's third pshat is pshutai, like the Targum says, because he gave him meals, he gave him to eat. Yitzchak is gvura, he's tefillah. Yitzchak is the burger, steak sandwich. Go out and shecht for me an animal, I'll give you a bracha. What you plan? Yitzchak Avinu saying to Esav, he didn't know who Yaakov was. He's saying to Esav, go out there and shecht for me, and I'll give you a bracha. I'll feel good. I should give you a bracha. What does this mean? What does this mean? Yitzchak Gvura Tefillah? He's giving him the bracha because it is. He gives him to eat. Targum says, look at the Targum Rabbi say. He gave him to eat. That's pshat. Rivka is pregnant with twins. She goes to Abanim Bikirba. She goes to the yeshiva of Shem Ve'ever. She says, what's going on? And they told her, Shnei Lumim V'Meyayich. Shnei Goyim, I'm sorry, Meyayich. Very good. This fellow is good. Shnei Goyim Meyayich and Shnei Lumim Meyayich Yipareidu. Not bad. I'm doing Bob. Okay. Meyayich Yipareidu. Two, very good, whatever. So you have over here two children, two in your family. She was told with Nevius that Esav ain't changing. He's not changing Esav. He's going to be Esav the Russia. But Ramban says later, she was told Klar, she can't tell Yitzchak. Whatever the reasons were, she can't tell Yitzchak. But she knew. Rivka Heves is Yaakov. Rivka loved Yaakov. She knew what Esav was going to be. Yitzchak didn't know. They state, Yitzchak didn't know. Yitzchak says, I will do anything and everything. I'm going to talk to Esav. If it means talking to him about cars, I'll talk to him about cars. If it means talking to him about baseball, I'll talk to him about baseball. Yitzchak Avinu. But here's the right Rabbi say. If it means, what do you say? He was a hunter. I'll talk to you about hunting. I'll talk to you about hunting. There was a young man who was a fruma shayma termitzvahs today who got won over by Shlomo Freifel, the Tzaddik Levracha, in Far Rockaway, by the great Shoyashiv Rosh Hashiva. Got won over. Why? Because he came from a place they used to hunt all the time. And Freifel started discussing hunting with him. And he came into the yeshiva, and he's a gar chosh v'balabas today. Later on, they found under Shlomo Freifel's desk was a book about hunting. He prepared for the meeting, not by saying Tillim. He prepared for the meeting with the Bacha by reading up on hunting. Zok Yitzchak, we're going to talk food. We're going to talk what you want. Yitzchak needs the steak sandwich. Come on, Yitzchak Avinu. But I'm going to talk about hunting. We have to open up our hearts to our kids. Rabbi say, be it in the yeshiva, be it in the home. We do whatever we can to make every kid great, and it can't happen. Sometimes they're handicapped. You do your best with them. When you have yeshiva, like I mentioned, Tarvidas before, Banim Lamakah, what a wonderful program. You know, and I go to camp for Shabbos during the week a little bit. I go to a camp. There's a program called Camp Ruach Chaim, which is a camp of all these boys who are Banim Lamakah in the program in Tarvidas. They're such lovable children, these kids. They just hug me. They hug and they hug and they hug. I said, you know what? This is the bad. They never got the bad gene. These kids. They only have good genes. They're just wonderful kids. They're limited what they could do. So they're limited. So they're limited. What it means is, Rabbi say, just reaching out and trying to do whatever we can do best for kids. And if it means maybe opening up a vocational program for them, maybe we should. When they get older, they can't learn anymore. They just can't learn. Teach them a trade. The Gemara says, you have to teach your child a trade. You have to. What? Whatever we do, we do. So yeah, maybe it's a vocational program. I can tell you one thing. People spend zillions of dollars they spend on, they spend zillions of dollars on getting the kids off the street, right? Have a perfect refuah for them. Take care of them when they're in yeshiva. I'm not condemning anybody. We have to keep things on a very, very, very high level. You just said the yeshiva has it. We have a lot of guys learning a brisk. I have no problem. And Rabbi Sharieli. But the ones who are shvach, you got to help them out. Give them a vocation. What's wrong with that? Give them something. They won't go off. They need to have their self-esteem. You got to open your hearts to kids, whatever it takes. First you work, and then take care of them. They'll be good balabatim later on. Our job is to take every single child to Gadol B'Torah of Yerushalayim. Avada 100%. Nothing more, nothing less than that. That's our goal. And if it means there was a Givaldi, Martha Pomegransky, it's a very story. They had to put out a biography recently. Goyin Olam. His Aleph-based Rebbe at 6 years old gave up on him. He was an Ilui Otzim. He was just very young. He's an Ilui Otzim, Martha. Ilui Otzim. The Rebbe, when he was 6 years old, figured it out. He was too quick. You know what he did? He took a piece of paper and he cut out a little hole and he showed him the Aleph base, seeing only one letter. He put the hole open at a base, let's say. He says, this is a base. The kid learned it in a second. The kid was so brilliant and so smart, so brilliant. He chapped. He saw a page. He didn't see one letter. He saw 20 letters. He couldn't learn it. See, and that's what he thought about learning. He became an Ilui Yotzim. It tells he was married to Ilui. Our job is to find every single day. I want to read to you a Taisus and Ksubas, Rabbi say, which mamish, if this doesn't get you excited, I know whatever will. It's a married to Taisus and Ksubas. This mamish, everybody should jump up and down from the Taisus. The story everybody knows. Samach Gimel and Aleph is the Taisus. The Gemara starts Samach Beis and Beis. Rabbi Akiva, Raya, the Ben Kalba Sur, Akiva, the whole Gemara now, it's take too long, was the shepherd for who? For Kalba Savua, one of the three richest men in Yerushalayim. Havachazise Brate, his daughter, whose name was Rachel, saw Rabbi Akiva, that Vitzniya, it's a Nuadik person, he was 40 years old. And Mali, he was the hype of the mensch. Amrale, she said to him, this is the daughter of Kalba Savua, this is like a Vel Shidduch. It's like a Vel Shidduch, doing a Shidduch with the pick the richest Jew in the world today. I'll no problem, I'll marry you, I'm the daughter. Will you go learn? Will you go learn? He says, I'm Allah, and yeah. Okay, they sort of, the parents did nothing about it. Sham Avua, the father heard. Abka Mibeisa, he went away to learn, and he threw out his daughter from the house. Adra Anoah, and the Chesed, he was Madra Anoah, he said to her, you cannot have any Anoah of anything I own. Famous story, right? Ozal Yosef Trace Ration, the whole story. He went and learned 12 years, he came back with 12,000 Talmidim, he came back, and he's coming with 12,000 Talmidim. So he comes to the door and he hears that old lady says to Rachel, at Kama, how long will you be a Lebedik Almana? You have no husband. Amr Leif, if Rabbi Akiva would listen to me, he'd sit 12 more years and learn. Famous Shus B'chaim Shmulevitz, 12 and 12, the Gemara says, when at 24, because 12 and 12 is not 24. Why do you go into now and say hello? Hello, Rachel. Shalom Aleichem, my wife. It's hard. Rabbi said, very hard the Gemara to fathom. It's hard to understand. It's his Rebbetzin, it's his wife, but she sent him away to learn. He turned around, he went back, and he came back. Okay. Shama Devisu, he came back with 24,000 Talmidim. So she brought up the dress. She went out, and you don't have to. They said to her, go. He was coming. They said to put on. He said, Adam Yanesh is the first Gemara. You're there outside the Nefesh Behemtoi. Tzad knows the Nefesh of his Behema. She came. She fell on his feet. Come and Ashkari Lekrai. They pushed her away. Who's this lady over here? 24,000 Talmidim here, right? Akiva looked at her. She's laying there. What are you doing over here? Famous thing. Amalahu, he said to the people that are pushing her away, Shafku Shalibu Shalachem Shalahu, my Torah and your Torah, she said to the Talmidim, are all her Torah. Shama, what is it I want to come to? Her father heard, who's the father? Kalba Suva. The Asa Gavra Rabba Lamasa, a great man is coming to the city. But he's starting to feel bad, 24 years. Rachel is Mudur Hana. She has nothing there but 24 years. You know what? All right. Ezel Gabay Efshe the Meifin Adroy, maybe we might another. He came there and he says to Rabbi Akiva, he doesn't know who he's talking to. Rabbi Akiva doesn't know who he's talking to. And he says to him, Adaita the Gavra Rabba Mina Darta, if you would have known that your son was going to become a Gavra Rabba, a great person, would have you might another? I'm Allah. He says, I feel Perik Echad. One Perik would have been happy. I feel Allah Achas. I'm Allah. I know who it's me. I'm the one. Nafal, Alape, Vanashka, Alkroy, etc. He gave away half his money to his daughter, etc. Frektais Sakasha. Frektais the Chara Bambakasha. Frektais Vim Taimar, Halay Osel of Teach Benoilot. Let me explain what that means. One cannot be Matir Neder, something that was created after the Neder. After the Neder. You can create it, let's say, that he says, you have the money, therefore, I'm not, your future husband has the money. And they found out he had $1 million. Had you known he had $1 million before, that can be mataneder. But you can't be mataneder saying, had you known he would have made $1 million. That's called noilet. It's created after the fact. After the neder was made already. That can't work. You know what I mean? Noilet, you know, and it says more famous that you cannot be mataneder with noilet, something that's born later. When? After the story. Had you known he's becoming a Talmid Chacham, he's going to know Kol HaTorah Kula. Would he be matir neder? So what? When he made the neder, it didn't exist yet. These words are basically you should memorize for the rest of your lives. Emphasizes v'yesh leimer the hachal echashiv noilad. Why? Kivan he had gone already. He had left the house already. Sheholach lebei Rav. He went to learn in a yeshiva. The derechu. It's the derech. It's normal, Rabbi say. B'hoylech lilmoid, when someone goes to learn, shenase adam gadol, he'll become an adam gadol. Not he'll become, an olive beis yid. Nothing wrong with that. I'll be a tilim yid, become an adam gadol. So imagine turning away a child. That's chinuch with heart. A child can't yet make it, or your child is mechin mishug in the house. So what? It's the derech. If the kid goes to him, he's going to learn for an emes. It's so easy. Just send them to learn. They come in Adam Gadol. That's our job when we look at our children, Rabbi say. Our Talmidim and our children. To open up our life, to open up our heart. I'll tell you what it means a Rebbe. I'm picking out, I'm choosing now. I'm going to go lower time, I don't want to go too much overtime. I have a neighbor, Moshe Brown. Ryan is nicht stark. He's a guy. How much a guy? Maybe one of the biggest guys in the entire that there exists today. He's like a giant of a person. Rabbi Shiran told me that he heard from his Rebbe Rav Ruderman in Israel in Baltimore. He learned in Slabodka. The leader of Slabodka was what they used to call the litter. Those that don't know, it was the Alta for Slabodka. They call him by us. The word Alta is a title. By them, the word old man is he's washed up. He's an old man. By us, the word Alta means chashiv. Talmidim the Alta Slabodka had America Torah. His Talmidim, the Baron Kotler. Rav Ruderman, I just said there, Yisrael, Rav Hutner, Chaim Berlin, Rav David Leibowitz, Chafetz Chaim, it's Yaakov Kamenetsky. Rav Moshe Feinstein learned by himself, became Rav Moshe like Rav Yashiv. He learned by himself with the Kol HaTorah Kula, all the halachas. He had a Rebbe, Rav Pesach Pruskin, also a Talmud Slabodka. The Talmud Slabodka, listen what I mean, but the Talmud Slabodka had such Talmidim. Rav Ruderman one night had a stomach problem. This is what Rav Moshe Brown heard straight from Rav Ruderman the story. What it means a Rebbe with heart. The Alta Slabodka was firm at times. There's times you got to be firm with a Talmud. He month he was Talmidim. At say a month and say. But he had to go to the outhouse, at 2 a.m. At 2 a.m. he went to the outhouse. He had stomach issues. Going to an outhouse was not fun. Not fun. We don't know what outhouse is anymore. My mother, Shalom, once told me, my mother got married to my father. My father was an American who went to learn in the mirror. So he called him the Alta Mirror. My father was an Alta Mirror. And my mother lived in Varsha and moved to the mirror. She said the one thing my mother told me that was hard to get used to was the outhouse. Coming out, she lived in a city called Latvatsk, suburb of Varsha, or Warsaw. They had bathrooms to go to an outhouse, not Yishmak. She comes to the mirror in the cold weather. It's not push it. There were chamber pots, but you have to go out of them. Nice. Here he is, Rav Hurrim using the facility, and he hears the Alta talking to him from outside the door. There was a door, it was a room. And he started talking about Dvarim Shal Ma B'kach. The Alta chapped when he saw him. Somehow he saw him going out. He followed him out. And he was in there for 15 minutes, and he stood and talked to him couldn't talk Torah with him. To keep him company, he shouldn't have the pachad of sitting outside by himself 15 minutes with a stomach problem. This is the Alter for Slabotka, Rabbi say, who I just told you the Talmidim that he made. He heard this is made the Talmud. The Alter Slabotka to me always brings up awe. Awesome person. He was mamish. He moved to Israel at the end of his life. That was the whole Chevron story. The Alter for Slabotka. And he's standing by a bathroom, she's in our house, talking to his Talmud. That's chinuch with heart, Rabbi say. That's a heart that's huge. Taking care of your Talmidim. That's chinuch with heart. I want to tell you another unbelievable story. Rabbi Bald said to me, tell him stories. I gotta say more than stories. So I told him I would tell you too. Another thing I thought about the other day. It's unbelievable. When Ramesha was with Lifta, there was a spadim all over. Ramesha Feinstein. I can stand today for 2 hours telling you what Ramesha's midas. It's not shaykh. And then I can come to my mother, Allah Shalom, used to send me across the bridge from Windsor to ask him shilas. Used to go across the bridge, woke up, there's a knock on the door, she'd come, yeah, Vergeit, the Rebbe would say, Ramesha, you walked inside. It must have been in his room, scores of times in his room where he learned. Always with a pen. He learned with a pen. He wrote and wrote and wrote, and that's why with Zeichet, all those wonderful svarim, the Igros Meishas and the Dibros Meishas that are still coming out more and more and more on Shas. They're coming out with the Shalas. They used up whatever the Shalas they had. You're talking about it's almost unbelievable. He learned. The whole world came from Falachas and Shalas. The whole world was like today. The joke was, when I was a kid, that every Rav has 2 phones. Remember, nobody had 2 phones at home. Nobody had 2 phones. We had a number, I remember, Evergreen 70555, we had a chashva number. It was 2 letters beginning. Why they did it the last, but they did it like that. Okay, whatever it was. 327 of Far Rockaway comes from Far Rockaway 7. That's what it comes from. That letters. Ramesh's phone number is Oregon 71222. I remember the number. Oregon 7, yeah, east side. The Oregon 71222. That was his number, right? I remember correctly. Okay. So the joke was about all Rabbanim, they had 2 phones. Someone would call to ask a shal, and they'd say, hold on a minute, put the phone down. There was no whole button thing like that. But there was rotary dial, put down the phone, pick up the other file, dial Oregon 71222. Rebbe, what's the shaila? Go back to the other phone. That was the joke in America about Ramesha. This is a joke we all heard as kids growing up. Moshe, he called him Moshe. The Satmar Rav, who had once an argument with him about something, right? He looked at Ramesha as the guy in a door, and Allah Rav wasn't shaykh. Yosef said Ramesha was the biggest. Huge. Why am I saying all the Hachonis have to give a haskam on Ramesha? Heard the Meiser, I say. There was a couple in Barapak. I know the family's name. Couple in Barapak. The mother developed a difficult case of a disease. And it was hard. It was MS, difficult case, multiple sclerosis, and she became pregnant. And the doctor said it's sakonis nefashos for the mother if she goes through with the child, having the baby. So they went to Moshe Bick in Barapak. Moshe Bick was the paisik at Barapak. They went to Moshe Bick and they asked him what to do. Moshe said, Moshe Bick answered, I can't answer. It's too shver a shaila. The chayrik went to the doctors, you have to, but I can't answer the shaila. Go to Moshe on the east side. This Hasidic couple went, the mother with her husband. They went, I have a raya to the story, but I don't need a raya. I heard it from Gershon Weiss, the story. I don't need a raya, but you'll see it at the end of the story. Bekitza, so they went to Moshe. Moshe said, I need a few hours. He took all the medical facts. He went through the parsha. They came back to him. He told us she should have the baby. The baby will be gesund. And you'll also be okay. And they were not happy. And Baruch Hashem, of course, healthy boy, Baruch Hashem. And the mother that year did okay. Weiter. I told her a story later. 20 years later, she was still doing okay, the mother. I mean, it doesn't go away to the machla. A year later, Gershon Weiss told us over, America thing, Gershon told us over in Yeshiva. He lived upstairs from this couple, on 18th Avenue, Barapak. Upstairs from this couple, and he came down the steps, heard a little big noise, they get all excited, they said, come in. They said, and she's on the phone, the mother's on the phone. Says, what's going on? He says, Ramesh is on the phone. Ramesh was on the phone. He walked in just then when she took the phone. And Ramesh is calling this Bible. And he says to the Bible, he says, according to my cheshbon, your baby's 1 year old today. I called to say happy birthday. Paisik Adar, Ramesh Feinstein, calling to say happy birthday. I didn't say the word happy birthday. And the simcha in the house, of course, Ramesh was the hero of that house. Ramesh, yeah. I told over the story that Good has this program in the summers. I spoke for them 1 year. This is going back at least 27, 28 years ago. I go tell over the story. This Hasidic young man in the back who stands up and he says, it's true. It's my brother. It's my mother and my brother, the baby over here. Ramesh means they came from him, thousands of people, with a heart this big. To remember a year later the birthday, if we don't remember our own wives' birthdays, we're in trouble, Rabbi say, or our kids' birthdays. Ramesh remembers how many people, Shilas came to his desk. He calls this lady to say happy birthday to your kid. If he could, Rabbi should talk to the kid and tell the kid happy birthday. That means chinuch with heart. Leif, Baruch Ber, I spoke to Yidder, Chana Shechavis, lived in Flatbush. Was a Talmud of Kamenetz. A Talmud of Kamenetz by Baruch Ber. The great Baruch Ber, the Birkei Shmuel, Al Pivan Uchai in his Torah. And anytime they brought him a name to say Tillim for, he kept the name for 5 years if they didn't come back to tell him what happened with the person. Do we go back when we ask God and God to daven for the person, do we go back and tell him everything's okay? Someone in my family was very, very sick about the Baruch Hashem. She came out, one of my daughters-in-law, very, very sick about 5 years ago. So he went to Gedalim. And Baruch Hashem, she recovered fully, Baruch Hashem. There was a Nisim Gloim we saw. I went back. If they remember the story of Baruch Ber, I called every one of these people. Thank you, she's okay. 2 months later, whatever it was. He kept the names for 5 years, Rabbi said. 5 years. After 5 yees, how did he date them? Remember the Chaysish, how he did it exactly, the system that he used. 5 years. That's what we have to be with our children. Every single child counts. They're big. Nasa Adam Gadol, become an Adam Gadol. At the end of Masay, I'll leave you with that. At the end of Masay is a Rashi. There's a Rashi at the end of Masay. Answer questions, forget about it. No questions. I don't mind questions, but where is he? Still a question still, no? Enough, right? Questions? I should, all right, okay, whatever you say. I'm getting paid big bucks for this, so no problem. I'm joking or whatever. All right, anyways, listen to this. Kibitzing around, to be able to do a chesed with this Rabbi Bald, I still tell you, Rabbi say, and you're not stubborn, you come every year doing, how many years are you doing it? Forgot your name, I'm sorry. How many years are you doing this already? 23rd year. Well, it's eingebenched. Some people may do, Baruch Hashem, this speaks about Ir Miklat. This is Perek Lamed Hey, Pasuk Lamed Dal, last Pasuk Perek Lamed Hey. Be careful with people who murder. Redundancy, no? Dr. Rashi, Kani Hashem, repetition, af bizman shem tmeim, even when they're tamei, Shechina beinayim, the Shechina is always there, Rabbi say. This is not only for children, not only for Talmidim, Rabbi say. This is for anybody and everybody. Sometimes we say, who am I, what am I, what can I do? I can't make this up. I give a shir. I call it a shir. In the camp, for Shabbos, where I go up there for Shabbos, they have this Down syndrome group from Bana Lamakam. I have the schus of learning with them for a half hour every Shabbos about, before the Suda. Listen what a kid asked me this week, one of the kids. I was talking about going to Baschanan, going into Eretz Yisrael, Moshe Rabbeinu. I have to talk on their level, of course. They know certain things, certain of them are stronger, some of them are weaker. One kid said, I don't understand, whatever language says Rebbe. If Moshe Rabbeinu couldn't go into Eretz Yisrael, how are we going to go in? This is what a kid said to me, one of these children. How are we going to go when Moshe didn't get in? So of course I tried to answer him, Lefi Madrei Gosai. It's hard to understand all the way Moshe Rabbeinu the punishment, right? Lefi Madrei Gosai, maybe it's so going down Madrei, I couldn't explain that well. But the kid asked the question, so people, I'm going to give up, who am I? Was bin ich? What can I do? I have a list of my averis. You want a list? I remember when I was a kid growing up, we used to say to us, all our friends, how does Hashem keep track of all our averis? How does he do it? Today it's very easy to figure it out, right? The computer, you push a button and whoo, they have everything there. Well, you were kids. So, one kid said the following, when you come to Shemayim, the kid says to me, they give each kid a big piece of chalk. Like kid, old man, you person, they give a big piece of chalk. They show you a huge staircase, right? They tell you a huge staircase. They tell you take the chalk and write one out there on every single step, the next step, the next step, the next step. So this guy said, Chaim was going up the staircase, writing about everybody, writing his own affairs and writing 10, 20, 40, 100, 200, 300 steps. And he meets his friend Yossi coming down the steps. He says to Yossi, where are you going? I want to get another piece of chalk. You know, we all have a zachem, we all have a thing, so what? HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves us. Shani Sheikh B'Sech B'nai Yisrael, fill in the tumah. The kids are waiting for us. We should love them, hug them. That's what the kids want. They want to have good zachem, Rabbi Yisrael. The Chinuch of old does not work, Rabbi Yisrael, the Chinuch of old. The Chinuch of old of yesteryear, I don't know if it worked then. I'm not sure. People say it worked then. I don't know how it's shaykh to work when you beat up people. I don't know how it's shaykh to work. I think then it didn't work. I went to, Rabbi say, I have a cousin, the 4th grade, not in yeshiva, I went to, and his Rebbe gave him over his head. Rabbi say to say it over in public, but he gave his head. He went home the next day and told his parents in 1940s, much older than me, but 1940s, he told his parents, I'm not going back to yeshiva. He married a shiksa, Rabbi say. So I don't think it worked then. Avada, once in a while, you got to discipline your kids, not a hefkeveld. Yeshiva has their own rules and regulations. It's got to be 100%. But you have to open up your hearts, mechanech your children, your talmidim. If we'll do that, we'll see wonderful, wonderful dayros. And we shall matzliach with our kids, have only nachas. Atke v'shil v'meri b'yameinu, amen v'yamein.
Shem Ergen Shir Terem, Moses Boss, I'd like to give a big ashakayach to our bender for the inspiring drasha. Rabbi say, open your hearts and sponsor a shir with a full heart. With the remaining shirim of the summer, and have a chelik in the buses Torah of Ergen Shir Torah. Worldwide, call Ergen Shir Torah 718-851-8651. Email tapecenter@yeshivanet.com. We'd like to have a big ashakayach to Moshe Katlowitz for exclusively sponsoring tonight's Shir Lili Nishmas, Bisha Shendel Beilabas of Rom Oshala Sholem, to Nishmos Tzura B'Tzara Chaim. CDs of tonight's Shir will be available shortly. Chananya ben Akashim Rotzakash Baruch Lazakis is a shel figure Hiblim Torah Mitzvah Shanem Al Noich Office Aman Tzidka Yagdol Torah V'Yadeh.
Ay,